I have a question.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds. Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
Just want to be clear, you should not be the intimacy coordinator. You should definitely hire intimacy coordinators, which we did have.
Well, you were teaching Justin how to pull you in.
Where have you seen this?
Justin Baldoni just dropped a bombshell that's tearing Hollywood apart. Insiders reveal Blake Lively allegedly tried to bribe him with a jaw-dropping $10 million to drop his lawsuit. $10 million. That level of desperation is insane. But here's where it gets wild. Why is Justin refusing to stay silent when he could have taken the money and walked away? And if Blake's so desperate to shut him up, what else is she trying to hide? Fans are divided, the internet is on fire, and everyone's asking, who's really telling the truth? The alleged bribe isn't just about money, it's about power. Reports suggest Blake has been maneuvering to seize control of Justin's film project from the very beginning, and when her initial attempts failed, she supposedly turned to her biggest weapon, money. But here's where things get even messier. Since the lawsuit began, Justin has kept a low profile, avoiding unnecessary drama and spending time with his family in Hawaii. It's a stark contrast to Blake and Ryan, who seem to be basking in the Hollywood spotlight. Just recently, the couple attended Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary special, laughing and joking like nothing was wrong. But when Ryan made a quip that many took as a subtle jab at the legal battle, the backlash was immediate. Critics called their carefree attitude tone-deaf, especially given the gravity of the accusations circling them. But here's where it gets even more twisted. Sources claim Blake is in full panic mode, ruthlessly trying to destroy Justin's reputation before the trial reaches its climax. Allegedly, she's made several strategic blunders along the way, starting with how she tried to force her creative control over Justin's film. Supposedly, she pressured him to accept changes to the script that made him uncomfortable, and when he pushed back, she pulled out the big guns, her powerful connections. It's said that Blake threatened to bring in her influential allies, including Ryan Reynolds and even Taylor Swift, to make sure Justin would bend to her demands. Rather than escalate the conflict, Justin supposedly tried to keep things civil, reassuring her that her ideas were valued and trying to accommodate her suggestions. But that effort at peacekeeping, it might have been his biggest mistake. Because as desperate as Blake seemed then, her ambitions were only just beginning to unravel. And the next move she made, it's about to blow this whole story wide open.
Just seemed to be more and more evidence that she wasn't quite telling the truth. And that is also a horrendous thing. Absolutely horrendous. And is she really that arrogant that she thought she could get away with this? I've talked to a few people about this, and they really are of the belief that the money and the power that her and Ryan Reynolds have has probably made them a little bit deluded in thinking that they could bully their way through this situation.
But Blake's alleged desperation didn't end there. Reports suggest she went even further, actively plotting to cut Justin out of the project entirely. And how did she plan to do it? By secretly negotiating with Colleen Hoover, the author of It Ends With Us, about potential sequels. If true, this was never just about creative input for Blake. It was about seizing total control of the franchise. But here's the twist. Justin's ownership of the movie rights prevents anyone, even Blake, from moving forward with a prequel or sequel unless he's legally forced out. And that's exactly where the lawsuit comes in. The stakes couldn't be higher. If Justin loses this case, the rights to the film would reportedly revert back to Sony and Colleen Hoover. And if that happens, it would make it infinitely easier for Blake to snatch them up for herself. Many now believe this was her endgame all along. Every ruthless move, every leaked accusation, every attempt to discredit Justin, it all points to one clear motive: securing the rights for herself. But Blake's alleged schemes didn't stop with shady negotiations. Despite claiming to be the victim of a smear campaign, insiders reveal she was the one who leaked details of the lawsuit to the New York Times before it was even officially filed. And why? To make sure the media framed the narrative in her favor from the very start. It's a chilling contradiction to her claims that Justin was trying to ruin her reputation. But here's the thing. Blake's attempts to control the story may have only made things worse for her, because what Justin was about to do next, that's when everything really started to fall apart.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds. Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
Just when things couldn't seem more chaotic, Justin Baldoni dropped a revelation that could completely turn the tables. Reports now claim that Blake Lively allegedly tried to silence him with a jaw-dropping $10 million bribe, hoping to make the lawsuit disappear before it destroys her reputation. And while Hollywood reels from the news, everyone's asking the same question: what exactly is Blake trying so desperately to hide? For weeks, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have been waging a ruthless campaign to sway public opinion against Justin. But despite their frantic efforts to to control the narrative, it's all starting to backfire. Sources reveal that Blake didn't just use her influence to push Justin out of his own movie. She allegedly went as far as trying to pay him off to drop the case altogether. The more you dig into this story, the more it looks like her schemes are crumbling from the inside out. While Justin has been laying low in Hawaii with his family, seemingly trying to avoid the storm, Blake and Ryan have been living it up in the public eye. Their recent appearance at Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary special was meant to showcase their carefree confidence. But when Ryan made a joke that many took as a direct jab at the legal drama, the backlash was brutal. Critics couldn't believe how casually they were treating such serious allegations. And here's the kicker. Ryan's joke may now be considered evidence in court. Sources close to Justin's legal team have confirmed that Ryan's ill-advised quip could actually strengthen their case. One insider told Page Six that the public mockery will be used to highlight how Blake and Ryan are allegedly downplaying and trivializing the accusations. Hollywood insiders are already questioning the couple's decision to keep up their high-profile appearances, especially when Blake's entire defense revolves around being the supposed victim in this scenario. But as careless as their actions seem, the real shocker is still to come. As if things weren't already spiraling out of control, Justin has reportedly filed a new motion in court, one that could change everything. According to sources, he's accusing Blake of falsifying HR complaints against him, claims that supposedly paint him as a nightmare to work with on set. The allegations include everything from inappropriate touching, to making dismissive comments about his own marriage, to talking about his past struggles with addiction in ways that made cast members uncomfortable. But the timing of these accusations, that's what has everyone raising an eyebrow, because just when it looked like Blake was losing her grip on the situation, these complaints conveniently surfaced. But were they truly the nail in Justin's coffin, or just another piece of the puzzle? The truth behind these allegations is about to unravel. Things took an even darker turn when shocking new accusations emerged against Justin Baldoni. Reports claim he allegedly pressured an actress to perform a nude scene that was never part of the original script, justifying it by mentioning a personal experience involving his wife, an excuse that was later proven to be completely untrue. But that wasn't all. In another disturbing allegation, Justin supposedly asked an actress if she had ever experienced an orgasm on camera, suggesting they should add an intimate scene to the film, even though it was entirely unnecessary. The severity of these claims has only added more fuel to the raging fire of this scandal. But here's the thing. Many believe these allegations are all part of a calculated smear campaign orchestrated by Blake and Ryan. The timing of the leaked HR complaints has raised countless eyebrows, especially since the dates of the incidents were conveniently redacted while other details were left intact. And there's more. Blake's lawsuit itself contradicts these claims. She previously stated that she couldn't file HR complaints through Sony, which only makes these newly surfaced documents seem even more suspicious. Was this all just another attempt to destroy Justin's reputation before he has the chance to expose the truth? But the real question is, if these complaints were genuine, why weren't they included in Blake's initial lawsuit? Why leak them now instead of presenting them during the official filing? The timing feels almost too convenient, and some are now convinced that Blake's alleged bribe was a desperate attempt to bury damning information before it could be revealed. Meanwhile, Justin is refusing to back down. His legal team is reportedly preparing to present evidence that will not only clear his name, but also expose the full extent of Blake and Ryan's alleged manipulation. And if his claims are true, this entire narrative could be flipped on its head. This case has quickly become one of the most explosive legal battles in Hollywood. It's not just about money or creative control anymore. It's about power, credibility, and the lengths some people will go to maintain their public image. And as the drama unfolds, the conversation has grown far beyond the individuals involved. Now everyone's talking about the manipulation of influence in Hollywood, the ethics of media control, and the dangerous weaponization of allegations for personal gain. If Justin successfully proves his case, Blake and Ryan's credibility could be shattered beyond repair. But if Blake's accusations hold weight, it could mean devastating consequences for Justin's career. One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. With both sides gearing up to present their strongest arguments, the world is watching to see who will come out on top. But just when it seems like the truth is about to surface, another shocking twist threatens to change everything.
There's a Reddit post that was posted in August of last year. Blake Lively went to Sony Studios and said, if you don't go for my cut of this movie, my version of this movie, I will go out in the New York Times and accuse Justin Baldoni of harassment. And as we know, that is what happened at a later point. But if this is true, that she threatened Sony back then to go to the New York Times and accuse Justin Baldoni of these things, that is pretty damning.
As the scandal deepens, Blake Lively's own words are starting to come back to haunt her. One of her most serious accusations against Justin Baldoni was that he made her feel uncomfortable during the filming of intimate scenes, supposedly because there was no intimacy coordinator on set. She painted a picture of distress and vulnerability. But here's where things take a shocking turn. Leaked footage from behind the scenes shows a completely different story. The dance scene Blake claimed was uncomfortable. It turns out it was nothing more than a moment of mutual playfulness between her and Justin, filled with friendly conversation and laughter. The cheerful interactions captured on camera completely contradict her claims of feeling unsafe or mistreated. But the contradictions don't stop there. Blake herself admitted in an interview that she chose to act as the film's intimacy coordinator, meaning she supposedly had full control over how those scenes were handled. If she truly felt uncomfortable, why would she take on that role? This baffling inconsistency is making critics question her credibility even more. Blake's shifting narrative is leaving many wondering if her accusations are part of a larger scheme to tarnish Justin's reputation. If her own claims can't hold up against the evidence, what else is she hiding? And just when you think you've heard it all, the next twist in this scandal threatens to blow everything wide open. The deeper you look into this scandal, the clearer it becomes why Blake Lively might have resorted to allegedly offering Justin Baldoni a multi-million-dollar settlement. The rumors say Blake was so desperate to keep this lawsuit from reaching trial that she dangled a jaw-dropping amount of money in front of him. Money meant to silence him and make the entire nightmare vanish. But Justin's refusal to accept the alleged bribe tells a different story. His decision to push forward with the lawsuit suggests he's not just confident in his position. He's determined to see this battle through to the very end, and that's what has Hollywood buzzing. The ongoing drama has ignited a fierce debate among fans and industry insiders alike. On one side, Blake's supporters believe she's doing whatever it takes to protect her career from a ruthless takedown, but others are convinced her actions are calculated and manipulative, designed to destroy Justin's reputation at any cost. Meanwhile, Justin's allies argue he's standing his ground against powerful figures trying to erase him from his own project. And his determination to fight back? It's only making Blake's alleged desperation look even worse. Why would Blake be so desperate to end this lawsuit before it even begins? And what kind of evidence does Justin have that makes him so confident about winning this case? As both sides prepare for what's shaping up to be an epic legal showdown, one thing is certain. Whatever happens next is bound to leave Hollywood stunned. And what's coming next? It's about to make everything that happened so far look like child's play.
I think we can talk about some things now that he has filed his complaint in his suit against the New York Times. Guys, my opinion stands is that I will not be making decisions or assumptions until we have gotten to the case, because what the heck is happening? Oh, Blake Lively made some very specific allegations saying that Justin Baldoni had come to her trailer when she was topless, and Justin Baldoni had then showed us the text messages where she asks him to come to her trailer, and he also shows how open she was to be breastfeeding in front of other cast and crew, and so this seemed like normal to him. First of all, I believe him there. And like I said in my last video, I've never been convinced of the slander campaign. I have always been convinced that that was organic. It wasn't these fake or false articles. It was literally people showing footage of Blake Lively by herself. Like, it was just her own downfall. Justin has then showed the text to his PR team where he's like, this isn't us, right? Like, what is this? And they're like, no, this is just organic. Another big thing is that Justin Baldoni proved that in the New York Times article, they not only cherry-picked text messages, but they actually altered the text messages themselves, and he showed the originals versus what they posted, which is just like ridiculous. It's one thing to cherry pick. I feel like that's to be expected, especially when you feel like that maybe Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively paid off a friend at the New York Times. I expected that, but to see them actually change it, I think is pretty ridiculous.
Just when you thought the drama couldn't get any more twisted, Ryan Reynolds' involvement is now under scrutiny. While he's managed to stay out of the direct legal battle, his unwavering public support for Blake and his rumored attempts to influence media narratives suggest he's playing a much bigger role than anyone realized. The question is, just how far will Ryan go to protect his wife's reputation? Insiders are already speculating about how deep his influence truly runs. Did Ryan play a part in the alleged bribe offered to Justin to make the lawsuit disappear? And if so, what else could he be trying to hide? At the core of this explosive dispute lies a brutal battle for power and control. Hollywood is no stranger to conflicts over creative ownership, but the stakes in this case are particularly high. If Justin successfully defends himself and keeps his rights to the film, it could be a game-changing victory for filmmakers fighting against corporate or celebrity interference. But if Blake and Ryan manage to discredit him, it could send a clear message. advantage. Those with the most power always win, regardless of who's truly in the right. And as the battle intensifies, the entire industry is watching closely, knowing the outcome could change everything. As messy as this scandal has become, what's about to be revealed next could completely flip the narrative. Because while Blake and Ryan have been playing their game of manipulation, Justin has been quietly preparing something that could shatter their entire case. And when he finally decides to make his next move, it's going to leave everyone speechless.
Let's score another.
I'm getting beard on you today.
I'm probably getting spray tan on you.
It smells good.
Well, it's not bad. It's my body makeup.
As the legal battle inches closer to its breaking point, both sides are preparing to unleash everything they have got. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds may appear calm and collected on the surface, flashing smiles and radiating confidence. But according to insiders, the pressure behind the scenes is reaching a fever pitch. The fear of more damaging evidence surfacing has their team scrambling to contain the fallout before it's too late. And Justin, he's still standing firm, refusing to be intimidated or bought off. His determination to clear his name and protect his film rights is setting the stage for what could be one of the most explosive legal battles Hollywood has ever seen. This fight isn't just about a movie project anymore. It's about power, credibility, and whether the truth even matters when the biggest names in the industry are determined to rewrite the narrative. If Justin wins, it could set a groundbreaking precedent for filmmakers everywhere, proving that even the most influential figures can't crush someone's career without consequence. But if Blake and Ryan's relentless efforts succeed, it will only reinforce the dark reality of Hollywood's power dynamics, where the most connected voices always win. The entire industry is holding its breath, waiting to see how this epic showdown will end. But just when you think things couldn't get more dramatic, another shocking revelation is about to hit the spotlight, because Justin's secret weapon, it's something Blake and Ryan never saw coming. As the scandal unravels, new details continue to paint a murky picture of what really happened behind the scenes. According to Justin Baldoni's lawsuit, an intimacy coordinator was present on set. But here's the catch: Blake Lively allegedly chose not to work with them. Instead, Justin was forced to meet with the coordinator alone, passing along any suggestions to Blake separately. Despite his reluctance, Justin and Blake eventually decided to handle things their own way. They reportedly sketched out intimate scenes together, supposedly to add authenticity to their characters. But if Blake was so uncomfortable working with him, why would she agree to such a personal collaboration? This question alone is sparking major doubts about her claims. But it gets even more bizarre. One of the most controversial accusations in the lawsuit claims that Blake allegedly invited Justin to her penthouse to work on explicit scenes together. If she truly felt threatened by him, why would she ask him to join her in such a private setting? Critics are pointing to this contradiction as a clear attempt by Blake to shift blame and avoid taking responsibility for her own role in the creative process. But others argue that she's simply trying to protect her public image, playing into a narrative that benefits her the most. If that wasn't enough, Blake's handling of the film's promotional tour has only added more fuel to the fire. Instead of keeping the focus on the movie, she reportedly used the platform to promote her hair care line and her new alcohol brand. And here's the kicker: the film revolves around domestic violence, DV, and many people saw the irony of promoting alcohol while discussing such a heavy subject. After all, alcohol consumption is often linked to domestic abuse, making Blake's actions appear opportunistic and tone-deaf. As the backlash grows, Blake and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, are feeling the heat. While Blake has mostly remained quiet about the allegations, public perception is shifting fast. Some fans are fiercely defending her, believing she's being unfairly targeted, but others are convinced she's only digging herself into a deeper hole with each alleged stunt. Blake's silence is only making the rumors grow louder, and while everyone waits to see how she'll respond, Justin is preparing to reveal something that could change everything. Because if what he claims to have is real, then Blake's entire case could come crashing down around her. And the truth he's about to expose, it's something Blake and Ryan never saw coming. With each new revelation, the stakes continue to rise. Allegations of manipulation, betrayal, and desperation are swirling around Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni. What started as a legal dispute over creative control has evolved into one of Hollywood's most shocking scandals, one that could leave permanent scars on everyone involved. Blake's promotional missteps, contradictory claims, and alleged bribe attempt have only added fuel to the fire. And while some of her supporters still defend her, others can't ignore the growing pile of evidence suggesting something far more sinister is at play. But Justin isn't backing down. His determination to expose the truth and clear his name has only made the entire ordeal more explosive. As both sides prepare to present their most powerful arguments, the question remains: who will come out on top in this high-stakes battle for reputation? reputation and control. The final confrontation is looming, and when the truth finally comes out, the fallout could be devastating. But the real question is, will Blake's alleged scheme succeed, or will Justin's fight for justice finally bring her empire crashing down? Hollywood has never seen anything quite like this, and as the world watches with bated breath, one thing is certain: this is far from over.